Okay, we've been talking with Rich Higgins, the man who formed the Irregular Warfare Support Group at the Department of Defense. He also served as the Director of Strategic Planning at the National Security Council. And his firm, Unconstrained Analytics, has produced a citizen's guide to dealing with insurrection and violence, because a lot of people don't know what to do. Chapter 3 is all about creating an action plan so that you can protect yourself and your loved ones. Rich, we only have a few weeks until the election happens. What does the action plan tell us to do? Give us a few highlights.
Well, I think we broke the response into two things. One is a preparatory, for an increase in violence. So we do see the escalatory pattern continue that we've observed over the past 5 months, and it's to give people kind of a without going the quote unquote prepper route. It's to give people the practical, reasonable things that you can do. How to think about self-defense, how to think about defense of your property, at which point defense of your property you just need to leave, because defense of your life is far more important. How to create a strategy to move out, what backup communications you need to have. There's a second part of that, which is what do we do? What actions can I take today? Not in a few weeks from now. And like I said earlier, we want to get people mobilized and active in the political process, but also to understand that there are groups in local groups like the Sheriff's Auxiliary, veterans groups, knowing your local officers and kind of where they fall into the spectrum of events going on. So it's to give people a sense of the situational awareness you need, not necessarily that we're expecting a major conflict, but being prepared will give you a level of assurance where you're less anxious and you can observe these events more kind of open-minded. And I think where I'm concerned is that I think people tend to default to, they think of security as, well, I have a weapon, right? And you see that with everybody's run out and buy a weapon.
Right.
A weapon is just a small part of self-defense. I've been to war zones all over the world, and there's plenty of weapons in all of them. But it's little things like batteries, penicillin, bandages, things like that are invaluable in conflict environments. So it's just teaching people to be a little bit more practical about what it means to be secure, health security, food security, water security, in addition to, do I have a weapon to fight off a mob at my house?
Yeah.
So it's just what we try to do, though, is, break it down for the average person. You don't need to be a veteran. I mean, this is written so that a housewife can understand this, an old lady can understand it.
Yep. No, it's really good. And you talk about not only a bug out bag, which I'm very familiar with, but you also talk about a get home bag, because there'll come a time that you'll want to come back into your property. Tell us, what kind of things do you want in your bug out bag?
I think the simplest way to put it is the things you need to survive for 48 hours, right? As basic as you can make it. And as part of that, and we didn't talk too much about it in there, is what we would call as an E&E plan, right? An escape and evade plan. So, if you are living in an urban area and, perhaps you have relatives that are outside of an urban area, you want to have a strategy to get there, to make sure the car is fueled appropriately, to make sure you have a backup communications system in case, for whatever reason, power goes out or communications goes out. And these are things that, they don't apply to just an insurrection or an uprising or riots or something. They apply to an earthquake or a natural disaster. Right. They're just good things to know.